how important are these numbers for the globe, for the global economic growth?
Well, it's important, but for my opinion, I mean, the numbers could have been worse. I mean, you've got the busiest port in the world in Shanghai being closed, and you're seeing the numbers actually dictate that. So for me, the numbers weren't really shocking. What is the shock? I mean, well, what I think we're so used to from China is double-digit growth, but I think the second half of the year is going to be moderate recovery. And because of that, I think the interconnectedness of supply chain, and we saw the manufacturing numbers being really high, the rest of the world can now come into and work with China and help those numbers with that moderate recovery. I use the word moderate because it's going to be really hard to have that aggressive recovery numbers to match what China wants to do for the rest of the year in GDP. But I think that interconnectedness and being able to help solve some of the supply chain issues will help the pricing pressure for many of these countries as well.
So moderate recovery, Ryan, but nowhere near the numbers that China was talking about for annual growth of 5.5%.
I mean, that's so hard. I mean, you're putting a lot of pressure on top of things that are internally, as you just mentioned and the panelists just mentioned. You've got some issues with property investment. You've got to still spend more money in infrastructure. And let me point out, retail sales were high, but consumer spending is another thing in China that you have to watch when people are trying to save some money. They see what's going on in the economy. You've got to help stimulate that as well to get money back in domestically. So I don't want to say China's out of it just yet. Those are these all variables that all have to hit to be able to have a fire, a fourth work cylinder working for the economy to hit their growth.